This is Azu's video on factoring. Today we're going to be learning about factors. So go ahead and get out your factors note sheet. We'll be taking notes on that sheet today. Okay, so first we're going to talk about factors. So when we factor two numbers together, for example 2 and 5, we get what is called the product of 2 and 5. So when we talk about the product, that means multiplication. So 2 and 5 are factors, and when we multiply them together, we get a product. And in this example, our product is 10, because 2 times 5 is 10. So right now you should be making sure that you have product written down for the first blank. Now let's look at the second bullet. We call 2 and 5 the factors. So we're going to write down factors. Many numbers we'll be working with have more than 2 factors. Here's an example. For 12, we have 6 times 2, and we also have 3 times 4. Both equal 12. So 2 and 6 are factors of 12, and so are 3 and 4. We also need to know that factors come in sets, because when we multiply things, we have 2 numbers, and those are a set. Make sure you have all these things written out on your note sheet. Then we're going to move on to a few examples. When we wish to find all the factors of a number, we test to find all the numbers that divide evenly into that number. So this is where our divisibility rules are really going to come in handy. Let's look at our first example. We need to find the factors of 15. We're going to start by looking at 1. Well, we know that 1 divides into all numbers. So we know that 1 divided by a number equals that number. So yes, 1 would be a factor. And it's 1 times 15. That means that 1 and 15 so far are our factors of 15. Now let's look at 2. Well, we know the divisibility rule for 2 says our numbers have to be even if they're divisible by 2. Is 15 an even number? Nope. So it's not divisible by 2. Our next number to test is 3. So let's think of the divisibility rule for 3. We have to add the 2 digits together and see if they're divisible by 3. So 1 plus 5 equals 6. Well, we know 6 is divisible by 3, so it must be divisible by 3. So now we have to figure out 3 times what equals 15. Well, 3 times 5 equals 15. So that means that 3 and 5 are also factors of 15. Our next number to test is 4. Well, if we think of the divisibility rule for 4, it was the last 2 digits of the number we needed to look at. So 15, we have to figure out if it's divisible by 4. Well, you can't divide 15 into 4 evenly, so it's not divisible by 4. So 4 is not a factor of 15. The next number for us to test is 5. So let's think of the divisibility rule for 5. Well, we know that if the number ends in 0 or 5, it is divisible by 5. And 15 ends in 5. So that means yes, 15 is divisible by 5. So 5 times what equals 15? 5 times 3 equals 15, which means that 5 and 3 are factors of 15. Wait a second. I'm seeing something reappear. So let's look at this for just a minute. 5 times 3 and 3 times 5. Those are actually a pair, so they're a set of numbers. So that's when you're able to stop. So when you have a pair of numbers repeat, that's when you know it's time to stop our testing. So let's write down what our factors of 15 are. So our factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5, and 15. I like to make sure I write them in order from least to greatest. I'll show you why later. Now it's your turn. We're going to do the next example. Find the factors of 36. Now remember, this is one where you're actually going to have to write it down on your note sheet. So we're going to test all of the numbers just like we did in our last example. So you always start with 1. We know that 1 divided by any number equals that number. So 1 divided by 36 equals 36. So yes, 36 is divisible by 1. 1 times 36 equals 36. So that means that 1 and 36 are factors of 36. The next number we need to test is 2. Well, we know that the divisibility rule for 2 is that all even numbers are divisible by 2. So is 36 an even number? Yes, it is. So 36 is divisible by 2. So 2 times what equals 36? To help you find that answer, you can do 36 divided by 2 in your calculator. And then that's going to equal 18. So 2 and 18 are factors of 36. The next number that we have to test is 3. So the divisibility rule for 3 is you have to add all the digits together and see if it's divisible by 3. So 3 plus 6 is 9. Is 9 divisible by 3? Yes. So 3 is divisible by 36. So 3 times what equals 36? Once again, we can use our calculator to determine what 36 divided by 3 is. And that's going to be 12. So 3 and 12 are also factors of 36. The next number we have to test is 4. So the divisibility rule for 4 is if the last 2 digits of the number are divisible by 4. So 36 is divisible by 4. 4 times what equals 36? Well, 4 times 9 equals 36. So that means that 4 and 9 are also factors of 36. Our next number to test is 5. We know that the divisibility rule for 5 is if the last digit of the number is 5 or 0. So the last digit of 36 is 6. And 6 is not 5 or 0, so 5 is not divisible by 36. So 5 is not a factor of 36 either. The next number we need to test is 6. So the divisibility rule for 6 is if 2 and 3 are divisible by the number, then 6 is also divisible by the number. So 2 and 3 are divisible by 36. So that means that 6 must also be divisible by 36. So 6 times what equals 36? Well, 6 times 6 equals 36. And look, now we have two numbers that repeat. 6 and 6 are both the same numbers, so now they're repeating, and that's when we stop our testing. So now that we're all done testing the numbers, we need to write out what all the factors of 36 are. So we're going to first start with our smallest number, which was 1. So we're going to write down 1 way over here, and then we're going to write down its pair, 36, way on the other side, because we know that 1 is going to be the smallest factor of 36, and 36 is going to be the largest factor of 36. Now we're going to move on to the next pair, 2, and then we know that its pair is 18. Next pair was 3, and its pair was 12. Next one was 4, and its pair was 9. The last one was 6, and its pair is 6, but it's in the middle, and it repeats, so we can just leave it alone. So now if you look at the way we did it, it's kind of like closing a curtain to the inside. So we go from least all the way up to greatest, and when we get to the middle, when we stop, we can stop. Okay, so let's look again what the factors of 36 are. The factors of 36 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. This number has a lot of factors. Not all of your numbers are going to have that many factors, but you have to list every single one. Otherwise, you're not going to get the right answer. Okay, so here's our third example. Are you ready to use the shortcut? We're going to find all the factors of 54, but we're actually just going to utilize our calculator to figure all the factors out. So we're going to start with 1 because we know that 1 is always going to be a factor of all numbers, and then the number itself is also always going to be a factor of all numbers. Let's try 2. Type in 54 divided by 2 on your calculator. Does it give you a regular number with no decimal? It does. So 2, and what was the number you got on your calculator? 27. Now let's try 3. If you do 54 divided by 3 on your calculator, make sure you're doing this with me. So type in 54 divided by 3 on your calculator. Do you get a regular number with no decimal point? You do. So that means 3 is also a factor, and its pair is 18. Let's try 4. Type in 54 divided by 4 on your calculator. Do you get a regular number with no decimal point? No, you get a number with a decimal point, so it is not a factor of 54. Let's test 5. Does 54 divided by 5 give you a regular number, or does it give you a number with a decimal point? Type it in. It gives you a number with a decimal point, so 5 is also not a factor of 54. Let's try 6. 54 divided by 6, does it give you a regular number? It does. So 6 is a factor, and 9 is its pair. Let's test 8. If you do 54 divided by 8, does that divide into a regular number, or does it give you a decimal point? It gives you a decimal point, so 8 is not one of the factors of 54. Let's try 9. Oh wait, we already have 9 on our sheet, so that means that we're all done. So our factors for 54 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18, 27, and 54. You guys see how quickly we did that? Okay, so now it's your turn to practice. So I've given you guys 10 examples for you to practice for tonight's homework. I want you guys to try doing the first couple on your own, but then I'm going to have the example on this video. So for example, try number 1, 2, and 3, but I'll actually have them on the video. So go ahead and get started on that. You can pause the video, and then when you have number 1 done, you can press play and you can see how we work that problem. Okay, so our first problem was 24. So we're going to do the closing the curtain method, and we're going to use our calculator because that's probably going to be your quickest way to do this. So pull up your calculator and go ahead and get ready. So we're going to start with 1 because we know that 1 and the number itself are going to always be factors of the number. So 1 and 24 are factors of 24. Let's try 2. If we type in 24 divided by 2 on our calculator, does it work? Yes. So 2, and then the number you got was 12. Let's try the next one. 24 divided by 3. Does that one work? It does. So 3 and 8. Let's try 4. 24 divided by 4. Does that work? It does. So 4 and 6. Running out of room here. Let's try 24 divided by 5. Does it work? Nope, because it gives us a decimal. 24 divided by 6. Oh, wait a second. 6 is already on here. We already did 6, which means that it's repeating. So we are all done with testing our numbers. So the factors for 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. I'm going to show you the example for 2 in just a minute. Make sure you have all these correct on your sheet. Try doing 2 on your own and then checking on the video. So pause now. So now we're going to work with the number 20. So we're trying to find the factors of 20. So we know we have to start with 1 and the number itself. Let's try 2. When you put 20 divided by 2 on your calculator, what do you get? It works. So you put your 2, and then the answer was 10. So that's what you write over here. Let's try 3. 20 divided by 3 on your calculator. Nope, we get a decimal. Let's try 4. 20 divided by 4. 4 does work. So 4 and 5. Now let's try 5. 20 divided by 5. Oh wait, 5 and 4. We already have those two, so that means that we're done. We don't have to do anything else. So the factors for 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So these are all the numbers that can be divided by 20. Now I'm going to do one more example, so go ahead and pause your video. I'm going to do number 3, which is 7, and 7 is actually a special case. Let's see if you can remember why it's a special case. Go ahead and try it on your own. Alright, so now we're going to work with the number 7 to find the factors of 7. So first off, we're going to start with 1 and the number itself. So 1 and 7. Let's try 2. Can 7 be divided by 2 evenly? Nope. Let's try 3. 7 divided by 3. Does that go in there evenly? No, you get a decimal number. Let's try 4. 7 divided by 4. Does it work? Nope. Let's try 5. 7 divided by 5. Does it work? Nope. Let's try 6. 7 divided by 6. Does it work? Nope. Let's try 7. 7 divided by 7. Oh wait. 7 divided by 7 is 1, and we already have that pair. So 7 and 1 are the only factors of 7, which makes it a prime number. And that's all, folks. Thanks for watching the Math Toolbox.